All right, match 4. Yeah, you can't go to the next step by clicking the yes button. But yeah, and thanks to Smuggler's Copter, I think this is a keep. The good news is that even if the Lord of Atlantis can't be played right away, the Mutavault can still be used to crew the Smuggler's Copter, and eventually, hopefully, another island will be a pretty good draw. So, I mean, as you can see in a lot of these hands, like Force Negation would go a long way to making them less clunky. But actually, Smuggler's Copter also helps a lot in smoothing them out too. And it does. I think the opponent's on Eldrazi Tron at first. There was some merit to possibly playing another Smuggler's Copter, but I just don't think that's what it is. So actually, if I remember correctly, I think this is. Yeah, I think this is Eldrazi Tron, but they're playing Karn Liberated, which kind of threw me off. Yeah. I guess I'm playing a little bit rushed here. I think I conceded here. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't necessarily expecting this league to be a 5-0. I do remember playing a little rushed. But yeah, because obviously I had to be done by a certain amount of time. All right, well, yeah, obviously this does end up going well in the end. Let's see the next game. All right, game 2 against another Tron matchup, and this is obviously against any Tron variant a pretty good keep. Yeah, and actually, hopefully I remember to sideboard in the last game. What was the last game? It was Ad Nauseam. Oh yeah, I explained it was Oh, I don't think I did explain the sideboarding for Ad Nauseam. Okay, so please excuse me, but if I remember correctly, I basically brought in Chalice of the Void in favor of Dismember. Same idea with Tron. Dismember is just not good, and I don't think there was anything else to bring in. Force Negations were already in the main. There was Relic, and then there's Relic, Chalice, Deprive. Yeah, so obviously Chalice came in favor of Dismember, and I think Deprive came in favor of I think in favor of Spreading Seas, but I think I saw Spreading Seas in one of those previous games. Um, hmm. All right, I'm gonna be able to look at the games again and put that in the description. But in any case, obviously in Ad Nauseam, Deprives and Chalice of the Void come in, or Force Negation if you're playing Chalice main deck. But you want Deprive, Chalice, and Force Negation. Anyway, yeah. So here the way I sideboarded was I brought in Deprive instead of Dismember. Again, because I am putting my opponent on regular Tron, but I do think they end up being Eldrazi Tron, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Smuggler's Copter, very good at getting that down as soon as possible. I mean, it's at its best where you can start filtering right away. Yeah, and very Conclave helps with. Yeah. Oh no, I remember. This is regular Tron with some interesting alternative cards you don't often see. Yeah, and here actually see Fairy Conclave helps out so much here because Ujin is such a problem if you can't get it off the table immediately. But thankfully here we can. So yeah, I was able to crew Smuggler's Copter and fly over the token. And actually here the flyers are so indispensable. They're almost, yeah, since we don't have Spreading Seas, they're basically better. Now here the good news is this is where Deprive is very good. And I tap it in this way so that I can play Brazen Borrower and Deprive and return my cards to my hand. Yeah, because I think yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's Deprive is excellent against Ulamog, especially if they're targeting a land, because you can save one of your lands with Deprive and you can counter the 10/10 indestructible. So that was about the best big payoff card that I think they could have had. It was one of the best ones. It lined up the best with what we had, and yeah, I decided there to wait for what they played before Force of Negation. Playing Force of Negation, they of course went for Ensnaring Bridge. I was expecting that. It just ties up more of their mana. Unfortunately, my Smolgos Copter is turned off, but the good news is I don't actually need that in order to win. So, yeah, yeah, nice clean game against Tron. Yeah, so see you the next one. All right. Yeah, game 3. Yeah, so yeah, I think mainly because of Spreading Seas, this is a keep. I've been fortunate that the first hands have generally been pretty good. So, yeah, these kind of hands you just have to hope for the best. A lot of times, if you get Force of Negation, then it becomes just insurmountable for them. So it looks like they kept a hand that is not able to get turn 3 Tron, which is very good because that enables us to get on the board with creatures. Because we got to start beating, but we can't do that if they're threatening Tron next turn. But here, thankfully, yeah. So yeah, we can continue to keep them off of Tron, which is pretty good. I do elect to play a creature here. I could have held up Deprive, but I feel like you really, really need to put the pressure on Tron. Now of course they do have Blast Zone, which is kind of an issue. This is where Repeal actually could be better because you can repeal the Spreading Seas in response. But it's okay because we're actually at the point where we have enough counter magic we can probably keep them off of their payoffs. Especially since we got 2 counter spells and we've got Brazen Bar. We can play at end of turn, fly over most anything they play. Yeah, and I decided to Force a Negation the Eugen. In theory, I could have just let it resolve because it wasn't necessarily threatening anything. I could fly over most of what they play, but I just figured that, the possibility of something bad happening was higher with this on the battlefield. So I pitched Force Negation so I could play Brazen Bar right end of turn, maximize the chances that I could swing for lethal the following turn. And the nice thing is next turn I could have played a island, and then I could have attacked with 2 Mutavaults and Brazen Borrower and Deprive. So even if they could somehow kill one of them, I still would have had lethal. So, yep, good game against the second Tron in this league, and 4-0. And let's see how the last match goes.